right, girl. So, what we're going to go over in this video is how to get over a breakup. I know it's a little bit of a sensitive topic, especially for some who might be going through this right now. But trust me, I got some really good tips that has worked for me in the past that is going to really give you some clarity, I guess, on how to get over it. The process, you know, can be something that is really draining and really uncomfortable and a lot of times just annoying to deal with. Like, trust me, I know I don't have my heart broken probably, I don't even know, I can't even count honestly, but a lot of times. A lot of times. But the thing about me is I have my system, I have my ways of getting over it, and I move on. And I just don't allow, breakups to change my mindset on dating or change my mindset on men. It just makes me stronger every single time and gives me more experience so that next time I, start to see someone else, I'm able to go into it with, an open mind, an open heart, and just be able to really embrace that experience. And that's super, super, super important. So stay tuned. I'm going to give you some like really, really good tips, girl, on how to get over this thing so we don't have to like carry that weight. You know what I'm saying?
I think I'm crazy, the way I've been craving. If I put it quite plainly, just give me them, baby.
Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna say is, when you're going through a breakup, your heart is broken. Like 9 times out of 10, you have some sort of feelings for this person. You were probably in love with this person. It could be something that you've only been doing for about 2 months, or it could be something that you've been dealing with for 3 years. Or let me not say dealing with, it could be a relationship of 2 months or a relationship of 2 years or a relationship of 10 years. But regardless, I don't think that it feels any less worse depending on the length of time. I think what can make it feel worse is how long you allow yourself to kind of dwell on it and soak into those feelings before you actually decide to move on. And then also a lot of times the circumstances. Let's say if it was a mutual understanding, you guys didn't have any real drama, but you guys decided to like part ways just because you outgrew each other or whatever the case may be. That kind of breakup might be a little bit different than, say, you walked in on your man with another woman. That will be, I'm not saying the feelings will be better or worse in either situation, but typically if it was a more traumatic situation, it might take you a little bit longer to get over it, or it might, create more anger than it would in a different situation. So there's a lot of different factors that could, make the time frame of getting over a breakup longer or shorter. Okay, so first thing I'm going to say, and this may not be something that people expect me to say, but listen, I'm just going to be honest and I'm going to keep it real based on my experiences and how I do things. And I think that that's important because I'm a very unique person. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm just going to tell you, what's worked for me. And everybody has their own way of doing things. I'm no expert, but this is just what's worked for me. And I think that as long as you have this mindset and follow this system, this system, that sounds so like, anyways, but if you follow like this system of doing things, I really, really think that it'll help you to get over the breakup a lot faster. Okay, so number one, allow yourself to feel sorry for yourself. Okay, so depending on when it happened, it could have happened yesterday, it could have happened a few weeks ago, whatever it happened, the first period that you need to be allowing yourself to experience is feeling sorry for yourself, because it really does feel like it's a really shitty feeling to have to end a relationship, whether you ended it or whether someone ended it for you. Okay, give yourself time to process it. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel sorry for yourself. It's okay to think back on the situation, all the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, everything that, amounted up to that situation, why it happened. allow yourself to feel sorry for yourself. What I will say is do not reach out to the person. Do not communicate to that person in that time frame, because that is when you are the most vulnerable. So, for instance, if, say, they did cheat on you and you instantly left the relationship and a week passes by and they reach out to you, don't communicate with them. I mean, it's really just best to block that person in that time frame and keep them on block. And I say that because if you interact with them in conversation after a week or two of the breakup happening, what's going to end up happening a lot of times is you're going to give in to whatever their needs and desires are at that moment. So a lot of times if they reach out to you, they're reaching out to you because they miss you, or they're sorry, or it feels really uneasy that, everything happened the way it happened, and they miss you, so they just want to reach out. They're used to having you around all the time, and kind of, answering their texts whenever they reach out to you, or answering their phone call whenever they call you. When you just go through a breakup, you're just really vulnerable. You're too vulnerable to interact with that person at that moment. So it just allows you to, be in a position to make choices that you may not really want to make, when you're not feeling too emotional about that person. So definitely allow yourself to sulk, allow yourself to feel sorry for yourself, allow yourself to cry as much as you can, as much as you want to. Invite your friends over, watch sad movies, listen to sad music. Or if it's happy music, maybe you're excited about the breakup, whatever. But just allow yourself that time to process everything that's going on. And I would say for me, and it's different for everybody, but for me, I'm definitely the most vulnerable in that first week, that first 2 weeks. Usually after 2 weeks, that's when I'm really, really starting to miss that person. So that third week for me is really, really crucial to not interact with that person specifically, not to text them, nothing. I usually allow myself a good month, like 4 weeks of feeling sorry for myself. And then once that 4 week period for me is over, then I go to the next step. So the next thing that I do would be to find myself like a new hobby, something new that I can do, whether it's a part-time job, whether it's a YouTube channel, whether it is picking up a new hobby like crafting, sewing, makeup, whatever, babysitting. You need something that's going to keep your mind occupied, okay? Because we're not trying to interact with this person. We're not trying to go back, even if we feel like we want to. We still need time to process. Somebody could have broken up with you and you just might want that person back so bad. But you have to give yourself time to allow yourself to see your value so that you can heal and then understand why did this person let you go. You don't want to ever go back into a situation, like I said, while you're feeling vulnerable. So you have to find something to do that is going to keep you busy so that you don't have to be in that vulnerable state of mind. Because if you're busy and you're focusing on other things, you honestly don't have time to think about that person. You're doing something else. You're doing something new with your life. So you just don't have time. And the busier you keep yourself, the better. Because if you don't allow yourself to stay busy and you're, like I said, texting or reaching out to this person, they got you right where they want you. That is not what we want. Like, we don't want that. We want to be able to have control over our emotions so that we can move on. Okay. So that's what we're on. That's what we're not trying to, we're trying to get a hold of our emotions, get a hold of ourselves. And like I said, make this a process so that we can get over it as quickly as possible. And then number 3, during this, time of trying to heal, try not to let your mind wander. You know what I mean when I say let your mind wander? Try not to think about what they're doing. Try not to think about if they're with another person already, if they've moved on, if they're regretting their decision, if they're feeling some type of way about your decision, if they're hanging out on the weekends with their friends, or who they're with, what they're doing at work. Just try not to think about that. And I know that it's hard. Trust me, I know that it's hard because, even though I have gone through this a bunch and I go through this process, I still can't help but to wonder. You know what I mean? But if you can really find a way to minimize how much you think about this person throughout the day, like I'm telling you, it is really, really, really the best the best step to getting over it, to healing, to getting your groove back, getting your mentality back, getting your confidence back. Like all of that is just super, super, super important. Like I can't stress that enough. Try not to think about them. Try not to wonder. Like I said, if you can block them, block them. If you can, you know, and I don't want to say like block their family and things like that. You just really, really want to remove thinking about this person. I would definitely say either block them on social media, delete your social media for a little bit until you get over this process. You just don't want to have things to remind you of this person. And one thing about social media, if we're still friends with these people, you can just be scrolling on Instagram, minding your business, and a picture of this person pops up. And oh my God, don't let this person look happy in this picture. Or God forbid that they're in the picture with another person. Like that would just cause anybody to spiral. We don't want that. So we want to protect our feelings. We want to protect our emotions. So the best way to do that is to find a way to remove that person off social media or remove yourself off social media so that you can find time to heal. And then last but not least, find people to talk to. At this point, I would say a couple of months have gone by. And this process really should be about 2 months. You don't want to allow yourself to be, going through a breakup and feeling all the feelings of a breakup for longer than 2 months. Now, I'm not saying jump back into a relationship. That's the last thing you want to do. I do not recommend jumping from one relationship to another. But what I do recommend is talking to other people. And I'm not saying it has to be men or women or whoever you're into. It just has to be people. So this is the time where you want to start going back out with your friends again, maybe taking trips or vacations, maybe spending more time with your family. Maybe you were alienated in that relationship and you didn't get to interact with people as much as you used to before you got into the relationship. These are the times that you want to be reaching out to other people, because the more you're around people, the better you're able to heal and take your mind off of that person. If you want to start talking to new people, you can talk to new people. I mean, I do. I think usually after I get out of a relationship, like I said, I give myself about 2 months and then I'm already, talking to new people, already open to dating again. And it's not that I'm dating, like I said, to get into a relationship. I do not jump back into relationships. I've been single for a long time. And when I'm talking about just like getting your heart broken, you can be in a situationship. You can be in a non-labeled relationship and still get your heart broken, and I've done that a bunch of times, and that's one of the things that I'm talking about when I say I'm not going to allow myself to be heartbroken over somebody who, didn't deserve my love in the first place. Like I think I seen a quote from Bob Marley that said, the worst thing a man could do is activate your love and then deny it, or something like that. Let me know in the comments what the actual quote is. But that's the truth. Like if you're dealing with somebody who, activates everything like that in you and takes it and, receives it in that moment and then turn you away, like, come on. That is just the worst thing ever. So definitely talk to other people, have dates, go to dinner with people. It doesn't, and I'm not saying you have to be physical with that person either. If you want to, have at it. That there's nothing wrong with moving on sexually. There's nothing wrong with moving on emotionally. I just don't recommend jumping in from one relationship into another, within less than 6 months. But to begin that process, if you do, if you are looking to find someone new or looking to get into a new relationship, you have to allow yourself this time of the breakup process to allow yourself to heal. Because if you don't, you're going to take the baggage, everything from that last relationship into the next relationship. And say if it was trust, infidelity, abuse, unhappiness, unfulfillment, whatever, all of that is going to go right into that next relationship, and you're going to end up taking that out on that next person, and they're going to be confused, like, what is this person on? And then that relationship is going to end up being over before it started. Talk to other people, get to know other people. Like I said, hang out with friends, do activities, travel. This is the time that you just want to be more interactive, and it just allows you that time to really, really fully heal. Okay. So, yeah, these are just some tips and tricks that I've used over the years and that have worked for me like really well. You know how they say, you remember that TLC song called Switch? And it said, erase, replace, embrace, new face. Man, if that's not like something I take to the heart, like I'm not going to allow a man to, can have control over my emotions for too long. I'll cry over you. I'll feel a little sad. Definitely. I might be devastated. But the minute that I realize who I am and my worth and who I deserve, it's over. I'm not about to cry over you for too long. I'm moving on. Because guess what? You might think that that person is the only person in the world. There's no better person than that person. But if you feel that way, that you can't get another person like that person, yes, there's no repeat of the same person. Yes. But if you have those feelings of, oh my God, that was the best that I could get, there's nobody better. I hate that I lost him. What am I going to do now? I'm never going to find anyone else like him. Girl, not only do we need to work on how to get over a breakup, but we need to work on your confidence too, because that's just not it. So anyway, I'm gonna let you go, but I just wanted, to make sure that I had this video, we had this conversation, because I cannot have you out here looking crazy. And we're gonna talk about more stuff like this. So, I just want to give you like a brief little convo about how to get over this breakup right now. So definitely put these things into action, and we're gonna talk about it again later. All right, peace out.